Barbados, get up.
Good morning, Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you on this April 3rd. Great to have you with us, joining us bright and early on this gorgeous day. So we had some rains yesterday, but it's nice and sunshiny, at least for now. We're hoping that the heavens hold back because today's a big day for the little ones. Knapsack is on the track, literally, so you can look out for that a little later here on CBC TV 8. Thank you for joining us, though, for today's presentation. I'm Tisha Hines, and I'll be here with you until 8 o'clock this morning. We're coming your way live from Standard Distribution, the showroom on Wildey, partnering with us to bring you today's presentation. Now, we have a wonderful show planned for you today. We're going to be talking about a number of things that will be happening in the coming weeks and days. So we want you to stick around for that. Remember, you can find us online as well. We stream on Facebook as well as on YouTube, so you can go back and watch it. And we also have to say a special good morning to those of you who watch in the wee hours of the morning for the repeat of Mornin Barbados. I've noticed that my phone usually goes off just after midnight, and I couldn't figure it out for a while. It was people texting me about what was happening at that time as though it was on at midnight. Yeah, so this one is especially for those of you. But we want to start with a very, very serious conversation that I don't think we have often enough. So we hear about it in passing, but we never really delve in as deeply as we should, particularly for women of color. We hear it certainly more in our community. I'm talking about fibroids. You know, what are fibroids and why are they more prevalent in women of color? And things like this are many questions that I have. So Dr. John Barker is here with us. He, of course, is consultant obstetrician, gynecologist. He joins us live on set again this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. Good to have you. And yes, it's wonderful to have you in person. I know it's been happening for a while, but I've been seeing you so much on screen.
Yes, please.
That back out and see people, you know, it's important. So we're looking at fibroids today, and I find when it comes to women's health, we're getting a little better at it.
Yes, please.
We started with maybe breast cancer, and that conversation has grown.
Yes.
And we're seeing the fruits of that discussion.
Yes, please.
And now I think it's time for us to look a little closer at things like fibroids. Some of the stories that I have heard just boggle my mind.
Yes, please.
Very young women, some who've experienced fibroids from early teenage years, and usually we think of this as something that affects older women. I've always thought of it in that way. I don't know why, but I know the story of, which was shared with me online, a young girl, just 15 years old. She had very heavy periods, and then they found that she had some pretty heavy fibroids, and by 21, it was being recommended that she should have a hysterectomy at 21 years old. And so the story goes. I mean, it ended differently, but that changed my perspective on the way I look at fibroids. So let's start at the beginning so that we can bring people along to understand the gravity of this and how it's affecting our community.
Okay. Uterine fibroids are very common. Occur about in 1 in 3 of women. Usually it can occur up to 80% of women, especially black women. Usually there's a genetic predisposition for black women and Asian women versus Caucasian women. The major time of development is after 20s. It's very rare to have fibroids in adolescents and very young women. However, you must be cognizant that if you have fibroids can either be asymptomatic or symptomatic. Usually if they are asymptomatic, it means that you don't have any symptoms. So the only way that we will know that you have fibroids is when a doctor usually examines your tummy, feels a mass, or sometimes if you get an ultrasound scan, which is a pelvic ultrasound or abdominal ultrasound, then you can say, well, they have fibroids. So those are the asymptomatic. The symptomatic people, usually the major complaint is heavy menstrual bleeding. Sometimes you can get bleeding in between your periods. Sometimes you can get issues with your bladder in terms of urinary frequency. And sometimes you can get extreme pain as well. So those are the major symptoms.
All right, so the major symptoms. What about the types, the different types of fibroids?
Right, so if you can imagine a pear, all right, and cut the pear in half with the seed. So you can have fibroids that are on the actual surface, which are serosal fibroids. Sometimes you can get fibroids that actually attach to the outside of the uterus with a stalk and then actually have the fibroid on top of it. So those are pedunculated fibroids. And where the yellow of the pear is, which is the muscle of the uterus, you can have fibroids in there, and those are intramural fibroids. And then the last set of fibroids, which are the rarest one, would be in the actual cavity, which is where the seed would be in the pear. All right. Depending on where the fibroids are, you can get different symptoms. So if the fibroid is in the cavity, which is where the seed is, you can get bleeding in between your periods, or sometimes you can get very heavy bleeding that is just bleeding all the time. Sometimes these fibroids can get so big that they can come through the neck of the womb, and then it can be seen outside where the vagina is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Now, obviously, there's some measure of heredity involved. Is it hereditary? Is seeing it so prevalent in the community, it makes me think that it might be hereditary. But also, what part does lifestyle have to do with women getting fibroids?
Right. We always advocate a healthy lifestyle, diet, exercise and stuff, but in relation to controlling fibroids, then the effect on that would be minimal. Usually most people with fibroids, if they're like our complexion and stuff, we will have a genetic predisposition. So no matter how we eat, drink, etc., you will still have a predisposition for the fibroids. What in terms of the diet and the exercise would be to combat the symptoms of the fibroids. So for argument's sake, one of the commonest symptoms would be anemia, which should be a lower blood count. So essentially what we have to do is to give you medication to stop the bleeding, and then give you another set of medication to try and increase your blood count. But if you eat certain foods high in iron, like spinach, etc., then that will cause you to compensate quicker than if you were not on the correct diet as well.
So where the fibroids are will determine obviously the type of symptoms you will have, like you said.
Sometimes, yes. Right.
So let's talk a little bit about placement and how people can be impacted differently based on where they're placed or how big they are, things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So for argument's sake, some cases that we have seen, like if you have a pedunculated fibroid, those can get very big. So in relation to looking at the patient, you can see the tummy quite big, all right? And that's across the board, if they're on the surface or in the muscle itself, right? So your tummy can get distended. Sometimes you can get issues, if the fibroid is big enough, it can press on your bladder. So as a result, you have urinary frequency. So the major issue will be bleeding. And the bleeding, what the fibroids do is increase the surface area of the cavity. So as a result, if you get an increase in the surface area of the uterine cavity, because the uterine cavity has the lining of the womb, so if you have more cavity than our surface area, then it will bleed heavier, and that's the major cause for the bleeding.
How do you get around that? I mean, I'm thinking quality of life must be tough, and of course following up on the email that I got, this lady was saying that for many days she was bleeding for many days of the month, sometimes for the entire month.
Yes.
So let's talk about the quality of life that women have to work through based on what's happening with fibroids and things of that nature?
Right. So fibroids decrease quality of life, both psychologically, because if you're bleeding all the time, you might have an element of depression. Sometimes it can be very frustrated, interferes with your relationships in relation to intimacy and stuff, and overall hygiene, because if you're bleeding all the time, you got to be changing pads, etc. That's the major effect. So in relation to getting past that, what we usually do in the interim, once we diagnose the fibroids by ultrasound or examination, we will give you medication to actually stop the bleeding and to try and get your blood iron up if you're anemic, to actually compensate for that. Once we have done that, the next issue would be how we actually treat the fibroids, and depending on how big the fibroids are would determine the treatment. So for argument's sake, usually fibroids would need treating the best time to treat them will be between 3 to 5 centimeters, because the surgery is much easier. Sometimes some patients may want conservative management, because not everybody wants surgery to begin with. So that subset of patients, then we would monitor and give medication to as long as they're happy. The next set of patients might need intervention. Those would depend on if you're going to do a open technique, laparoscopic or minimal access technique, or a hysteroscopic technique, which is putting the camera in the womb to remove the fibroids.
I would imagine the type of procedure is determined by where the fibroids are. So
yes.
let's talk about the differences.
Okay, the traditional technique in terms of women of fertility age would be myomectomy. Now, myomectomy has the higher fertility rates when compared to uterine artery embolization. Uterine artery embolization is essentially whereby you block off the blood supply to the fibroids, and that is done by the radiologist. So what they do is to use very fine beads to block off the blood supply. All right. So that's why most gynecologists would opt to do a myomectomy rather than the uterine artery embolization. Now, the myomectomy now can either be done open, which is the traditional route, whereby you get a 10 centimeter incision on your tummy, and then essentially what we do is remove the individual fibroids. Now, that has a recovery of about 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks, versus the keyhole technique, which you can be discharged from hospital either the same day or the next day, depending, and your recovery is much quicker. So within 2 weeks, you're pretty much okay, but you still get the same time off in relation to sick leave and stuff, but usually your return to recovery is much quicker, and there's less associated blood loss as well too. So you're able to get back your quality of life quicker and to recover quicker as well.
All right, tell you what, we're going to take a break and come back and continue this discussion with Dr. Barker. Remember, if you have any questions, share them with us. We'll try to get them in as well. You can email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G, talking of the all-important topic of fibroids. We continue after this. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
time for the NISS Business Report, a comprehensive look at the local regional business world every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during CBC News Night. Brought to you by the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so welcome back to Morning Barbados. It's Wednesday already. That's a little weird for me. But it's because we have another short week. We came in on Tuesday. We're leaving on Thursday. That's crazy. Another short week. Or is it Friday? I can't figure it out, but you guys will let me know. Dr. John Barker is still with us, and we're taking a look at fibroids today. I got a very interesting email after our last discussion, which is why we decided to delve into this.
Yes,
a lady who shared her story with us graciously, and hopefully one day we'll be able to bring her in and, have her share her story as well. So as we went to break, we were talking about you know, the various procedures you can do to treat it and the downtime.
Yes.
So let's get into now. I know you said that lifestyle doesn't necessarily dictate how your body responds, but in this story, this email that this lady shared, she said that at 21, you know, the doctor wanted her to have a hysterectomy. And she was going to go with it because of the poor quality of life she was experiencing. But obviously, we know what that would mean for her possibility of making a family, having children. And she said she changed her lifestyle totally. She changed how she ate, and it made a drastic difference in her life. She lost some weight, and she said that everything changed. So, you know, I know that sometimes we have anomalies that happen, and it's not too often that we see traditional medicine kind of merging with, you know, other things like this, where people have stories about how they eat or oils they use and so on, obviously because of the lack of empirical data to support a lot of what they're doing. So I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on that, because I know a lot of women are often online and they're seeing all of this information online about how they can eat differently to fight things that are happening with their bodies, like fibroids and so on. So what's your take on it?
Right. Usually if you go to a medical person, they will only make decisions based on the evidence available. So that's why we try to practice evidence-based medicine. In terms of herbal remedies, etc., because sometimes the data may be lacking, medical doctors, not just gynaes, but everybody, would advise, well, we wouldn't say no, but we say that the evidence is limited, and if there are any red flags, then we would tell you. In relation to the diet for fibroids and stuff, we all advocate a healthy lifestyle. Some people online might say that the fibroids dramatically has decreased, but even if it has, that is very minimal, because in relation to data, there's not much data out there about it. In relation to younger people, as you said, we've encountered a fair amount of young women here and in the Caribbean, whereby they have extremely large fibroids and they're essentially don't have any children. So it's very unfair to tell this subset of patients that they need a hysterectomy. In relation to the myomectomies, if you do it, yes, it would be high risk. They have a higher risk of blood loss, etc. So you have to make sure that you have enough blood for them in case they bleed. The surgeries are much more difficult, as I reiterated, in relation to the optimal size to actually do the surgeries on. But there are a few women who, and my mentality is I would prefer to do the surgery on a young female and make sure to give them the chance to get pregnant. If they don't get pregnant, they will still be grateful to you, because most people would have done a hysterectomy on them versus trying to conserve the uterus.
So in what instances, you know, would you say that you would definitely have to go with a hysterectomy? Do you just go with that with women who are no longer in childbearing years, or does it have to be, a certain placement or what have you to determine what the response will be?
Okay, it all comes down to counseling, all right? If a lady comes to you symptomatic fibroids, she's past childbearing years, doesn't want any children, then that subset of patient will be for hysterectomy, all right? Once you go through all the options, yeah? They have some ladies who are between 42, 45, never had children, want to have IVF and stuff. That's a small subset of patients. Those will benefit from myomectomy because the fertility guys, they can do fertility treatments up to 50. So that's a very small percentage. The other majority of patients either would want children young, so they would benefit from myomectomy. And in addition to another small subset of patients who don't want myomectomy, don't want hysterectomy, so they would be a candidate for uterine artery embolization.
What about fertility? Because everyone won't find out, that they have fibroids before pregnancy.
Yes.
So what are some of the risks of, women who find out they have fibroids while they're pregnant?
Right. The majority of women will not have complications once they're pregnant. The major issue would be since you're pregnant, you get a lot of estrogen and hormones in pregnancy, so the fibroids would increase in size. So as a result, sometimes they might outgrow their blood supply. So you get what you call red degeneration of the fibroid. This would be treated by simple analgesia. Sometimes you might need hospital admission for that. The next thing that you may have is, depending on where the fibroid is, it can stop the baby from turning. So instead of the baby being head down, it can be transverse or it can be breech. So that subset of patient may need a cesarean section.
Are there any long-term implications for women who have fibroids outside of maybe if you have a procedure done?
Right. The fibroids will keep on growing. So if
they come back?
Well, two things. If you are counseling a patient for myomectomy, we remove all the visible fibroids or the ones that we can feel. All right. Sometimes you get seedling fibroids, which are sub 1 centimeter fibroids. So we have to counsel patients that even though if we remove the fibroids, they can come back, meaning that there will be new fibroids. They're not the same fibroids. There will be different fibroids that have actually come back.
I know I probably asked you this in another way, but are there any steps that can be taken to avoid getting fibroids? It almost seems like, as people would say, it's your lot in life.
Yeah, up to 80% of people, depending, may have fibroids. Some fibroids may stay the size that they are. Some fibroids might get bigger. So that's why we would follow up patients every 3 to 6 months with ultrasound scans to see if the fibroids are getting bigger. So even though you may have fibroids, doesn't mean that you may be symptomatic. And if you are symptomatic, then the advice would be to see a gynecologist and see what your options are.
All right, so let's repeat some of those symptoms, particularly for maybe older women who don't expect to still be having heavy menses and stuff like that, but might be experiencing because of the presence of fibroids.
Right, so the main is sometimes you can get increase in your tummy. Right, and in the older ladies, if you get an increased abdominal distension or what we call abdominal distension, yes, it could be fibroids. Yes, it could be ovarian tumor, ovarian cyst. So those are subset of ladies we will say see a gynecologist. Sometimes they can get heavy irregular bleeding or bleeding in between your periods. Those would be the more common symptoms, or bladder symptoms. Sometimes you can get urinary frequency as well. So anything that is a bit off, then we suggest you to see your doctor. All right.
Is there any treatment outside of surgery?
Right. Now, in terms of bleeding, which would be the symptom, hormonal therapy. All right. Sometimes we can give what you call GnRH analogs, which essentially cut off the hormones from your brain to the ovaries and the uterus. And essentially what that does is to shrink the fibroid. The only issue is that that's time limited. So after the 6 to 8 months or a year that you take it, up to 2 years, then that's it. You can't take it anymore because they give you menopausal symptoms. So once we give you that medication, then we have to give you what we call add-back therapy to prevent hormonal issues. So those would be the main medications that we use. So it's the symptomatic to stop the bleeding, GnRH to actually shrink the actual fibroids themselves.
What about the hysterectomy, where you come to the place where some women have to get the hysterectomy? Again, in my research, basically it says that women can be pushed directly into menopause, and even at a young age when that happens. So let's talk a little bit about how that changes, again, the quality of life, if you have to indeed get a hysterectomy because of fibroids.
Okay, so depending on the size of the fibroids, you would more than likely do a open operation, which is the traditional route. All right, so that can either be a transverse incision or a longitudinal up and down incision, depending on the size of the fibroids. Very big fibroids, we have to do the up and down incision. Now, keyhole surgery, which is laparoscopic surgery, we can do those up to midway between the belly button and down below. In relation to recovery with the keyhole route is much quicker, and there's less pain, there's less, you get by your quality of life much quicker. Now, in relation to once we do the hysterectomy, we have to have a conversation before in relation to counseling, depending on the age, whether to remove your ovaries or not. All right. Now, the average age of menopause is 51. So for argument's sake, if the patient is still getting the periods about 48, 49, up to 50, then we can have a conversation about taking the ovaries out. But once we take the ovaries out, then the patient would have a surgical menopause, meaning that you remove the ovaries. So that subset of patient will need hormone replacement therapy. Traditionally, we would give them that up to 51, and then we can decrease it or stop it to see if they're still symptomatic. Below 45, if you have to get a hysterectomy, then we would leave the ovaries in. The only issue is that sometimes when you do a hysterectomy, leaving the ovaries, rather than getting your menopause at traditionally 51, it can come down to like 48 or so. So just to keep that in the back of your head, that if you start getting symptoms before 51, then this would be the reason why.
Well, so quite the discussion, but truly enlightening. And I'm sure there are a lot of women who have far greater knowledge of what's happening with them. So thanks for sharing. I have loads more questions. Obviously, we can't fit any more in right now, but once you come back, I think is going to be important for us to kind of follow on and talk about surgically induced menopause and menopause generally, and how that affects women, whether by happening naturally or otherwise, and how maybe what the options are for women, because we've heard that there are options in hormone replacement therapy and all types of theories. We're very interested in hearing more about that. So great to see you as always, and thanks for sharing today. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right, Dr. John Barker, of course, friend to Mornin Barbados, and sharing about an all-interesting topic today. Again, if you have questions, we're more than open to sharing. So you can email us, morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Coming up, we are meeting up with Marlene Hewitt of the Business and Professional Women's Club. They are teaching women about finances. We'll tell you more about it after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Every night, we bring you a complete look at the weather forecast, because keeping you safe and informed is our top priority. The CBC Weather Report, brought to you by Ace H&B Hardware, the helpful hardware.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
School sports is in full swing as the athletes are gearing up for the 2024 Powerade Dasani BSAT Championships. Tune into CBC Sports Night with me, Anmar Goodrich Boyce, this and every Tuesday and Thursday for Athlete in the Spotlight. Sponsored by Powerade. Pause is power, and Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
The race is on. Who will be victorious in the Dasani Powerade Barbados Secondary Schools Athletics Championships? Stay tuned to find out. Live coverage of the action will be brought to you on this station from March 20th to 22nd. Dasani Powerade BSAC, sponsored by the Student Revolving Loan Fund, Great Health Works, and CG United.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back on this Wednesday. Certainly hope you're having a great day today, whatever your plans are. And of course, winding down for school. Very interesting. I was trying to figure this one out earlier in the week. So usually the Easter holiday happens and it's Easter. And now there's a holiday coming up and Easter is gone already. I don't know. We'll figure it out somehow. But, you know, the children aren't complaining. And I know the teachers are very happy to have a little time off. All right. So we promised to talk to you about the Business and Professional Women's Club of Barbados. They have a financial literacy program coming up. So president of the club went to with that program. So good morning and welcome, Marlene.
Good morning, Barbados.
Now, you know I'm going to sell you up. You told me you don't like waking up so
Oh, no.
like so lucky that you can wake up late in the day, or how does that work out? Like on a usual day, you sleep past sunrise?
Yes.
Is that even a thing?
Yes.
I thought that was a myth.
I think most people
who
sleep past 7 o'clock.
All my sunrises are at work. So there's something wrong with me then.
Yes. That's something.
She said yes. Oh my goodness. Marley, it's been a long time since I've had a conversation about the Business and Professional Women's Club. So I know personally of all the work you do and the work you've done throughout the years.
Yes.
But for those people who don't know, let's talk a little bit about all the work that the club has done through the years.
How long do you want me to stay? Because we've been active since 1966. So we sit on legislative committees. We do a lot of intergovernment policies. They call us all the time for everything, whether it is increasing the population, anything to do with women, families. We are there. We started the first ever career showcase. We have done everything, young career women, where we have to move women up into middle, upper management position before people recognize that women have brains that can do most things. We've done all of that. And this year, this is our third year introducing our financial literacy course. Managing money in challenging times. That's what we're looking at this time.
That has been the plight of every woman the world over. It's almost one of my favorites. I don't even know where it came from, but some famous, or maybe not so famous, but some very wise person once said, there's more month than money.
Yes,
a lot of the
usually,
times.
yes.
So let's talk about the program.
That can be changed though.
Yeah, you said it's running 4 to 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
We started last night, was our first night.
Last night was the
Yes.
first night, so
Yes.
we're already into it.
Yes,
Can
every
people
Tuesday.
still sign up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can sign up maybe for next week. We wouldn't encourage people after next Tuesday to sign up because you have lost so much.
All right, who's the program for? I know generally with programs like this, you generally target specific people with what you're doing.
We're targeting women at a lower economic level, but other women can join if, as you said, you have more month than money every month.
All right, so what are some of the major components of the financial literacy program that you'll be covering?
Yesterday, we covered things about money, history of money, mainly about people don't really talk about money and why we don't talk about money. Things like it's a taboo subject, the love of money is the root of all evil, things like that we covered. What do you hear about money? Easy come, easy go. Things like that we covered last night. Understanding debt, understanding savings. What does that mean? How do we go about savings? It's the little things that you do. It's mainly little things and how you spend money. So in how do you spend $10? Have you lost $10 in the last 2 days? What did you buy with it? Didn't you just fritter away the money, which is most times you break a $50 or $20 and then you can't account for it, but you spent it. And lots of times it's in the little things that you spent it before consciously thinking about that money. You might buy lunch every day. Do you know how much money lunch costs? And if you spend that money every day, by the end of the month, you're spending $400 to $600 if you do it every day, and especially if you include breakfast as well. So when you say you can't save, you could have saved that lunch money most of the time. Plus, you've already gone to the supermarket, so that's double spending in terms of food. So those are some of the things that we covered last night. Upcoming next week, we'll be talking about budgets. Why you need a budget? What does a budget mean to you? Making a budget and sticking to it. I think that's the hardest part, sticking to it. Maybe
I absolutely hate that B word, but it's a necessary evil.
Yes. How do you know what money you have or what money you have to save or invest if you reach that point unless you have a budget?
Are you even going to be talking about investment? Because in this part of the world, I feel like we don't necessarily talk a lot about investment. And when a lot of people talk about their money, they kind of approach money or saving as though it's the same as investing, when it really isn't.
Two different things, but we're at 101. So we're not really into investments. Last year we did have another program where we invited Jeremy Stephen to come and talk about local investments. But for this course, we are getting started. So you're not to the level of investment because you don't even know what money you have to save before you can even invest. So we're at the basics.
Obviously, you guys would have done your research in all the work that you're doing with women across demographics to figure out what it is that women need. And I would imagine that's why a program like this came into being. So what are women saying in the various spaces that you're going into to find out what women need and where they need that help?
Women are saying that, as you said, there's more month than money. They're also saying we don't know where it goes. I break a little bit of money and then it goes. I can't save. How do you save? I save it, I have to go back to it. I keep going back each time to the credit union or to the bank. The bank doesn't give me much interest. So how do I save money? All these things are things that women say. The children take all the money. I spend everything on the children.
Yeah. Who's delivering these particular lectures or pieces of
we
information?
look for women who can relate, who find it easy to teach and to be able to not look down on the women. If a woman says, well, I can't save, or I bought something that I shouldn't have bought, or I did my hair 5 times last week, we don't want women who will say, well, no, you shouldn't do that. We want women that can relate, can break it down into simple terms. I think that's what a lot of women say. They are scared to talk about money to people because they use all these newfangled words. They want it simple. And that's something that we've gotten from our presenters. So we look for them. Presenters who know their subject. So after we talk about budgets next week, we're going to be talking about savings. And we've gotten someone from the bank as well as someone from the credit union movement, because they know their subject. How do you save with the bank? How do you save with the credit union? Then we talk about debt. That's the biggest one. Too much credit card debt. People go for loans. What are your loans for? Why do you need a school loan? Can you save that money? What about crop over? Why are you going every year for crop over loan? And by the time you've paid that back, you're back into next crop over. So those are some of the things. Higher purchase. Do you understand the interest rates when you go for higher purchase? So those are some of the things that we will be discussing. Entrepreneurship and money management. If you have a small business or even a medium-sized business, do you understand money in relation to that business? And lastly, mortgages and rental agreements. That's where a lot of your money go. Did you read the agreement? Did you understand the fine print? So those are some of the areas.
Well, you know, most people aren't reading that fine print. They're just so happy to get a check with their name on it that they sign and go along. And there's some really interesting things that you raised that, you know, sometimes people run away from these things when they hear that they're based in numeracy or, you know, it sounds like a budget. I wasn't necessarily too good at math, or I don't know if this is right for me. Some people will start by telling you, I don't have money to start. Where am I going to find money to save? So you are precisely the type of person that needs to kind of look into this program. Let's talk about mode of delivery, because I would imagine having it online will make it far more accessible.
Yes, it's online, it's on Zoom. And if you want to contact us, you have to register for it. So you register at www.bpwbarbados.wordpress.com. If you are having trouble registering, then you can call us at 269-6183. 269-6183, or go to bpwbarbadosonline@gmail.com.
All right, so it started yesterday. However, there's still a few weeks to go, and you said you would advise for people to try to sign up in the coming days so they can get in at least for the second session and
7 to 9.
be a part of it, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Invest in you, literally and figuratively. You know, this could be a good foray into other things as well. So Knowing Your Money has gone. That's Joanne Jordan. She's back next week for budgeting. Then Savings with Michelle Whitelaw and Oriel Doyle. Debt with Melinda Peter. And you'd know that she started out here on Morning Barbados a few moons ago. Mortgage rental agreements is going to be covered by the end of April, and it ends the first week of May with Entrepreneurship or Money with Anita Walters. So make sure that you register, get online, and you know this can take you different places.
Learn different ways of savings, understanding money. The main thing is understanding money, having a budget. Because once you have a budget, you know where your money goes, and you know what money you have to save. And then down the road, as you fulfill your dreams and goals, you may be able to start investing some of that money.
Let's talk outcomes. What are you hoping will be the outcome of this project, even if it is just for a few of the women who participate?
Well, let me tell you what some of the women said from the last two. They said, I go to the supermarket or I go into the store and I hear the presenter voice in my head. And the presenter says to me, put that down. Do you really need it? Is it a need or a want? Can you do it at home? Can you cook that? Should you go to the market Why are you in this boutique where the clothes may be a bit more expensive when you know you have less money to spend? These are some of the things that the women told us. Entrepreneurship, one woman said, I didn't even understand about working out the expenses, that I need to know my expenses before I can price my product. So these are some of the areas that women have come back to us and told us.
All right, so this is a great program. It's available for just about every woman.
Every woman, mainly women at the lower economic level, because we find that they have less access to people to inform them about money. But if you think you have more month than money, you can still register, even if you're not at that low economic level.
We all have more month than money. We all have more month than money. Thank you so much, Marlene Hewitt, President of the Business and Professional Women's Club. Before you go, I'm sure you're always open to membership.
We're always open
How can you work toward being a member of the club?
Again, send us an email if you can, or call us at that number, 269-6183. Send us an email at bpwbarbadosonline@gmail.com. Let us know that you're interested. We would invite you to attend 3 meetings. We meet once a month, every first Thursday, unless it's a holiday. And you attend the meetings, you see what it's like, the work we do. And then if you say, well, I want to join, then we will arrange for you to be interviewed and to join the association. And we do need members desperately. We do a lot of work with very few members, because we also run the Shelter for Abused Women and the hotline that deals with rape, sexual assault, relationship issues, and also suicide. You know, we've been having a lot of mental health challenges. So that's the area that we're focusing on, mental health.
All right, so that's a great deal. That's a lot of work they're doing. So if you want to give back, here's your opportunity to be a part of the Business and Professional Women's Club as well. It's time for another break. But when we come back, Kathy Janiel is back. She is with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they have a Bridgetown mission coming up. What does that mean? And how can you get involved? That's all next. We'll tell you about that conference and more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Every night, we bring you a complete look at the weather forecast, because keeping you safe and informed is our top priority. The CBC Weather Report, brought to you by Ace H&B Hardware, the helpful hardware.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience. The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you indeed. Welcome back. Welcome back. Whatever you're doing, maybe getting that early morning hot cup of coffee or whatever is your morning routine. Thank you for adding Morning Barbados to that routine. It's just about 7 minutes to go before the 7 o'clock hour. If you want to beat that traffic, I don't know if you can get out now to beat it, particularly if you're coming from the St. Philip area, if you're in the Warrens area, or even here in Wildey, because I'm sure you are busy looking at all the traffic zooming by just behind me. Lots and lots of activity. So I promised that Catherine Daniel was going to join us today. She is National Communication Director with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Barbados, the Bridgetown Mission. And they have a major general conference coming up that she's going to share more about with us. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Here on Morning Barbados.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great opportunity. Yes, so every 6 months, the first weekend in April, the first weekend in October, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints worldwide holds a general conference. And this is an opportunity to hear from our church leaders, our prophet and president, Russell M. Nelson, who will be speaking to us from Salt Lake City, along with various leaders from, all over the world. So basically, this is one Saturday and Sunday where we stop and we listen. And the conference is an opportunity to find out more about Jesus. You know, it's an opportunity. I think the hashtag this year is Hear Him. And basically, that's what we're all trying to do. We invite everyone to come and hear messages of hope and peace and eternal life. All of this made possible through Jesus Christ. And especially in a world that seems more upset by war. All sorts of issues are happening. There's bad things happening literally around the world. So here's an opportunity to put all that aside and focus on something better.
For the average person, I dare say what we experience of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints a lot of the time are people who are coming out and sharing the word, moving around. So talk to us about that part of the ministry.
Oh yes, well, missionary work is a huge part of it because, okay, let's talk shoes. If you went somewhere and you saw a beautiful pair of shoes or there's a sale on at a shoe shop, what are you going to do?
Well, you don't have to ask because
you can tell your girlfriend, right?
Shoes are my thing.
Oh, my dear, here's your sister. But seriously, when we find something good, what do we want to do? We want to share it.
Okay.
So it's exactly the same thing. We have young full-time missionaries. You will see them, young men and young women out there with their name tags on, going out in groups of 2 and 3, knocking on doors and whatever, and that's great. But the church is also far more than that, because we try to follow the teachings of Jesus where we love one another. And the way we can show that love is through service. So the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will donate to charities. There's a sort of a standing joke that when there's a disaster, there's a race between the church and the Red Cross, Red Crescent to get there to give help. Now that's a bit silly, but we donate to the Barbados Council for the Disabled, to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. The members will take part in Clean Up Barbados. We get out there and we don't just talk, we don't just preach, we act.
How have things changed within the church in terms of how you engage and relate? As I mentioned, usually, certainly from where I sit, I've always seen the missionaries on the move. And now here we are talking about a general conference that will happen over the weekend, over 2 days. But now you've moved to a place where you're broadcasting it. So it will be shared on TV8. So talk to us about this move.
Oh, this is fantastic. We have been working towards this for several years because obviously the mass media is a fantastic way to get your message out. So we hope that many people will be able to watch and enjoy and hopefully learn more about our church, because the messages, oh boy, General Conference has always been amazing. I've been a member of the church for 30 a lot years and it is one of the best things that ever happened to me. and I can't begin to describe how it's changed my life. So I want to be able to share this opportunity with other people. Now, one of our articles of faith says that we claim the right to worship how, when, what we please. I'm garbling the word, sorry, but that's the basic concept. However, we also claim that right for everyone else. We are all God's children. And whether you call God, him, her, it, they, them, whatever, I believe that our Creator does not want us, the children, quarreling among ourselves. So we should be trying to live in peace with one another, have tolerance for one another, and be able to reach out and work with everyone. Because at the end of the day, helping the disabled community in Barbados helps Barbados. It's not just about the church or doing it because I want to be, you know, oh, I'm so good, I help everyone. No, 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 no. Quite the opposite. The Savior is humble. He washed people's feet. So we try to be helpful, serve one another, and show our love for Heavenly Father through our actions.
All right. Outside of people who will be watching via media, do you have to be a member of the church to participate or physically be at one of the spaces for a part of the general conference?
No, the chapels will be open. We have 3 chapels in Blackrock, in Oistins, and as we say, at the top of the small hill in Rendezvous. And the doors are open. So, you know, all are welcome. If you go and you look at the sign, that's what it says, all are welcome. Our regular Sunday worship starts at 10 and goes till 12. And again, all are welcome. We ask people to be respectful. You know, when sacrament is being blessed and passed, you know, don't be making a lot of noise, that kind of thing. But we welcome everyone to come in, ask questions. Let's have a discussion. It's fantastic. I've made contact with several other faith groups and learned about their beliefs, and I hope I've shared some information and got them curious about ours.
What are you hoping for as an outcome from this general conference and sharing it in this way across Barbados?
We are hoping that people will feel the Spirit. We believe in God, the Eternal Father, in His Son, Jesus Christ, and in the Holy Ghost. And I pray that people who watch or take part in some way will have their hearts open, that they will feel that touch and know that what we are saying is true. We don't try to force our religion on anyone. No, that's not right.
All right, so let's talk about the times. So people will be able to tune in or show up at one of the 3
chapels
of your chapels.
Yes, so Saturday and Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, that's Salt Lake City time. So I think it's going to be 12 noon to 2 p.m. And then again from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m.
All right, so that's on Saturday?
And Sunday.
So both days?
Yes, both days.
So, you know, in 2 tranches. So you're going from 12 to 2, and then from 4 to 6 on Saturday, and repeated on Sunday as well.
Yes.
So thank you so much for sharing with us.
You're most welcome.
A little bit more. As you mentioned, I do believe that we have to practice tolerance a whole lot more and find out a little bit about each other and what we do. Usually there's so much under talk or back talk about what's happening, and is based in ignorance in the traditional sense. So in people not necessarily knowing
the truth.
But the truth is it goes both ways.
Of course.
Because sometimes when you have a movement that comes in, you know, you find that maybe it feels a little closed off from the general population. So it's great that you're making this move to share your word
absolutely
with the general population in this way. This most certainly is a move that I've not seen or experienced in my short lifetime.
Well, the church has been changing a great deal over the past few years. Much more use of technology and social media. And because, I mean, back in the day when I joined the church, General Conference was still going on. But I can only speak for myself in Barbados. I didn't really understand what it was. This is how old I am. You can laugh, it's okay. But about 3 months later, we would get a VHS tape with the conference talks. So the jump in technology to be able to watch live, that is fantastic. And I love it because you see technology being used, the social media and stuff being used in so many negative ways. It's wonderful to see it used to share positive news, positive energy, the gospel of Jesus Christ.
All right, so that's on Saturday and Sunday on CBC TV8. Check your listings and, of course, tune in to TV8 to find out more details or go directly to the source and join the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for their general conference coming up this weekend, April 6th and 7th. At their various spots, you can head in and be a part of it as well. So at the 3 locations, Oistins, Rendezvous, and Blackrock. Thank you so much, Catherine,
You're very
for sharing
welcome.
with us, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take another break here on Morning Barbados, and when we come back, we get to meet some very interesting people, as always, so stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Tune in to CBC Newsnight for the NISS Business Report, a comprehensive look at the local, regional, and international business world every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during CBC Newsnight. Brought to you by the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
Every night, we bring you a complete look at the weather forecast because keeping you safe and informed is our top priority. The CBC Weather Report, brought to you by Ace H&B Hardware, the helpful hardware.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oistins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience. The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 7:07 on this April 3rd. Time for an update of the news. 21 new jobs will be created when the social services are fully amalgamated, and no one is expected to lose their job. This was disclosed by Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Kirk Humphrey, during a press conference to launch Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month 2024.
We've been discussing with the unions as to the positions that we're going to be needing going forward. We've given the unions the assurance that as far as possible, no one will lose their jobs in this amalgamation. In fact, we anticipate that there are going to be a number of new positions. I think we have created how many? We proposed 21 new positions as part of the build-out of the new department.
It's government's intention to have the National Assistance Board, the Child Care Board, Welfare Department, and the National Disabilities Unit housed under one roof. Minister Humphrey says they were at a very advanced stage with the plans and had already received a final report from the university that will set out the structure and positions in the new department. The Barbados Port Inc. has injected $3 million into the construction of 3 new berths for commercial vessels at the careenage and a new dedicated dock for party boats in Bridgetown. The two new berths, one at 140 feet in length and the other at 80 feet in length, can accommodate 10 catamarans. And Chief Executive Officer Mr. David Jean-Marie says the new berthing arrangements ensure the business community for the port's tenants during the demolition and construction phases of the neighboring Pierhead project. The project is being executed by the private entity Miss Daisy Investment Inc. south of the Carenage. Among the 47 tenants at the Carenage are boat owners, water sports operators, and those involved in island tours, pleasure cruising, and fishing as well. Minister of Tourism Ian Gooding-Edgell says the way visitors feel when they leave destination Barbados is much more important than any slogan. If you recall, back in 2021, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. or BTMI revealed the slogan Little Island, Big Barbados as part of a rebranding and marketing strategy. However, the slogan was heavily criticized by the public as it had already been used in over 5 countries.
The answer is that we've not yet confirmed a slogan, but the best slogan that we can have for anybody coming to Barbados is when they leave Barbados, that they say how wonderful this place was and how gracious the people continue to be, and having all of the traits that we're known for. You can have the best slogan in the world, but if you don't have that unique warmth, all will be lost. So I'm not saying what I said to discount the fact that there's a priority on it, but you have to go through some great due diligence, and you have to also test the message, because the slogan has to come with taglines and other components thereof.
Director of the Child Care Board, Roseanne Richards, says government is moving swiftly to establish a secure residential treatment facility to cater to children with severe behavioral problems. Already, 2 buildings have been identified to be renovated to the tune of $3 million by the end of the financial year and will cater to 25 children.
In our efforts to do the best we can for our children, we would want to have a facility as a part of the service we deliver to treat those children in-house. Yes, TREV would be involved, but we would have our doctors, we would have our mental health nurses, we would have our social workers continue to work with them. We'd also have some therapists on board, be it art therapy or otherwise, and we are hoping that in our system, once we get this facility, which we hope to get by this year, we'll be able to better serve those children and respond to the needs that they have at this time.
Barbadians can look forward to a bigger crop over this year. Minister in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for culture, Senator Dr. Chantel Monroe Knight, says major plans are on the way to mark the Summer Festival's 50th anniversary. She says work has already started to market Crop Over 2024.
There are a number of innovations. We'll be actually launching Crop Over and the Season of Emancipation on April 14th, just weeks away. So you would hear all about the new things that will be happening in Crop Over, but work has already started to market Crop Over 2024. I mean, as you know, we're also going to be having Cricket World Cup from June. So we're really marketing an entire package. So bigger and better Crop Over for 2024.
A young mother of 3 who's battling stage 4 cancer is on a mission to raise $50,000 to help save her own life. 34-year-old Kelly Marie Seeley is hoping to raise the funds by June to travel to the United States for medical consultation. Wendy Burke has more.
Breast cancer patient Kelly Marie Seeley has been told her treatment options locally have been exhausted. She was speaking at the Folkestone Marine Park, where her family and friends held a fundraising event themed Outside for Kelly. Because even though the illness has taken a toll on her body, the mother of a 5, 14, and 17-year-old has declared she's mentally prepared to fight to the end. Unfit to work at this time, she's appealing to Barbadians to help her raise a minimum of $50,000 to seek treatment in the United States.
First, we're going for consultation. We're going to Mount Sinai in Manhattan, New York. We will start off with the consultation first and see what's the best options, and going forward, we will move forward from there. I already had 4 cycles of chemotherapy in Barbados, which haven't worked. So I'm going abroad to see if we can have any more assistance.
Diagnosed in 2018, Miss Seeley says her battle with cancer has been a mighty one.
After being diagnosed since 2018 and been through, well, I was doing a basic treatment, which was a pill at the time. Like, I would always tell myself, well, if I could get past that first stage, why can't I get past this stage in terms of mentality? So I don't like think negative about my situation, even though the hospital will suggest, well, there's only XYZ they could do. I still looking for more beyond what they say. I believe that something is possible.
Those who attended the event purchased food and drinks and engaged in fun-filled activities. Organizer Carrie Skeet says she's pleased with the support for the effort.
A lot of persons reached out. Everyone was very helpful. A lot of people came together. Donations came in very well. It was really good.
Ms. Skeet is throwing out an appeal to corporate Barbados to lend support to the fundraising efforts.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Remember, you can stay tuned to TV8. We're going to be covering NAPSAT today. That'll be live on TV8. In terms of news, tune into our radio stations for updates at 1 o'clock this afternoon on 98.1 The One, 94.7 FM, and 100.7 FM. Morning Barbados continues after this. Do stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back. 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Welcome back to Morning Barbados. We have some beautiful things to tell you about today. This next segment is going to be of particular interest to you because it's an opportunity to maybe get involved in something new or find out more about something you've always been interested in. And it certainly certainly is becoming far more in the open. People are talking about it more. A few years ago, you didn't hear very much about gymnastics, but that is quickly changing. So joining us is Dr. Remy Soyombo, who is Vice President of the Barbados Amateur Gymnastics Association. Good to have you with us.
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
Good morning. And also here is Erin Pinder, who is a level 10 elite gymnast. And when we say elite, we mean it, because she's competing on the international stage. I'm told Commonwealth, Pan Am,
Yes.
etc. You name it.
Yes.
It's an inside joke. So let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about the sport itself and all that you're doing with the sport in your capacity as Vice President to, bring it more to the public of Barbados.
Right. So last year we had we came on the committee as the new board, and we had our first not first invitation, but our invitational last year. And the one thing people kept saying was, "Wow, we didn't realize that gymnastics existed in Barbados at this level." At that competitive level. Now, gymnastics has been in Barbados for quite some time. It was started, I think the association started in 2001. Alison Jackson is the coach of one of the clubs here in Barbados, Foot Gym, and she was basically the founder who brought it on as a gymnast herself. And since then, we've had athletes competing at all levels, even including worlds, for many years. More recently, we're trying to really just make people aware that it is there for kids of all ages. We know that gymnastics is one of the foundation of many sports, and we know how good it is for our young students, our young kids, to start to develop that love of sports and awareness in their bodies. So we're really trying to push gymnastics at all levels, and our competition is one of the ways that we get everyone, hundreds of people, to come out and experience what these highly talented kids are doing. And Excellent. It's a lot of fun.
I know it is. Now, Erin, you started at the tender age of 3.
Yes, I
So
did.
let's talk about your journey from early days to being a level 10 elite gymnast and competing all across the world.
Well, I started off here, obviously, and I've competed in Barbados for most of my gymnastics career. I only moved overseas recently to continue training as well. And obviously, I started at the level of 1, and I gradually moved on and on until I got to level 10 and eventually elite as well. So yeah.
So tell me about your experience generally with gymnastics. That's been obviously so rewarding, and you've grown through the years to the point where you're moving away to compete. Let's talk a little bit about how that has framed where you are today.
Well, it's been pretty good. It's been a pretty good experience. It's always fun to compete for your club and to compete for yourself and to compete for your country as well. So it's always been a very fun experience. There are some times that, sometimes competitions don't go necessarily your way, but it's always, once you have fun while doing what you're doing, then it's always a great experience.
It certainly sounds like it's going to be a wonderful experience as you host the annual Gymnastics Invitational. This year, the title is changed. It is now the Trident Classic. I love that. Sounds exclusively Bajan or authentically Bajan with the Trident in there somewhere. So let's talk about the Invitational coming up.
Right. So the Trident Classic Gymnastics Invitational will be taking place this Saturday, April 6th, at the Sir Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. We will have our team from Barbados, Flip Gym and Aquaflex Gymnastics, competing against teams from Trinidad, Jamaica, and Antigua. We will also have exhibits from one of our clubs here, Tumblebugs Gymnastics, and an exhibit by our very own elite gymnast, Erin Pinder.
Yes.
We will also be having some entertainment for everyone who attends, for the patrons, from our schools. So we have our top dance and cheerleading coming to give an exhibit as well. So we will have Pearls Dance Academy, as well as the Harrison College cheerleading squad and the St. Michael's School Cougars cheerleaders. So it's going to be a fun, exciting weekend. It starts at 9 a.m. It's all day. We have 3 sessions throughout the day. So we're inviting people to come out. The schools are on break, come out and support the gymnasts and experience what we have to offer. And
I know this takes a lot of commitment to be able to get the gymnasts to this particular place. So there will be gymnasts competing, approximately 135. So that is major, as you mentioned, from 3 territories. So Trinidad, Jamaica, well, 4. Trinidad, Jamaica, Antigua, and here in Barbados. We can't leave our people out. And they'll be competing in a number of areas. So let's hear a little bit more about exactly what we can look forward to for those novices who will be coming out to just enjoy it for the entertainment value.
So we will have our tumblers. Those are the lower, the smallest gymnasts between the ages of 4 and 7. So we have tumblers coming from all of those countries coming to compete. And then we have artistic gymnasts. So artistic gymnasts are the ones that participate in the 4 different apparatus that we have in gymnastics. So floor, vault, bars, and beam. And they go through and compete in each apparatus, and they are judged by our U.S. judges who will be coming to the competition. We also have our pre-comp level, which is the level before you get to the artistic level. As Erin would have mentioned, the artistic level starts at level 1 and it goes up to level 10. And it's a lot of commitment, starting from level 1 to level 10. So you'll see kids at all levels competing. The tumblers, the vaulters, the bars, the beams, the floor, yes.
Let's talk ticket prices. What do we need to pay to be able to get in to see Erin? Because I'm convinced already, Erin. I definitely want to see you as a Pan American Elite Senior for the national team. Competing at this level must be truly rewarding for you to be able to come back and give back in this way as you look toward going into college in the fall.
Yes, for sure. I'm definitely going to go to college in the fall. I'm really excited actually because it's one thing to come from a small island, but especially in a sport that is not necessarily recognized. Like back when I was starting, it wasn't really recognized back home. So it's just really exciting to be able to compete for a college in the U.S. and being recognized by the U.S. coming from a small island. So.
All right, beautiful. Again, prices.
Ticket prices. So children under 3 are free. And it's going to be $15 for children aged 3 to 16. We $25 for adults over the age of 16. And we have our VIP section for $50.
All right, good stuff. So we're going to tell you some more about it. We won't wrap up here. We're going to say goodbye to these guys, but we have some other gymnasts who will be joining us here on the set to talk more about their part, what they will be doing for the Trident Invitational. Did I get it right?
Trident Classic Invitational.
The Trident Classic Invitational coming up this weekend, so stay tuned.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Every night, we bring you a complete look at the weather forecast because keeping you safe and informed is our top priority. The CBC Weather Report, brought to you by Ace H&B Hardware, the helpful hardware.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience. The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Sexual abuse and neglect, and the violence.
Tune in to CBC Newsnight for the NISS Business Report, a comprehensive look at the local, regional, and international business world every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during CBC Newsnight. Brought to you by the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So the Barbados Amateur Gymnastics Association, they're having their annual gymnastics invitational. It's titled the Trident Classic, and it's coming up this weekend, Saturday, April 6th at the Sir Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. It gets started from 9 o'clock in the morning and goes through the entire day. So happy to have a few of the gymnasts who will be competing for Barbados joining us now. So looking all shy, Serena Walcott Lloyd, a level 6 gymnast. Good to have you here. Oyinda Buluro, she's also level 6. And we have Ciara Freeman, who is level 7. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Good to have you here. And looking fantastic in your school uniforms. I guess under other circumstances, we wouldn't have, maybe a week ago, we wouldn't have all three of you kind of sitting together and cheering for the same team, right? But here you are getting ready to represent Barbados. So for you, Ciara, you told me that you've been competing, you've been a part of gymnastics from months old. I don't think I've ever heard about that. So talk to me about how you felt about being a part of gymnastics for your whole life.
To be honest, when I was younger, I don't know, I just don't really remember. It was more of a fun thing. But then when I got on the team, it got like more serious and like less fun. But the training was harder, but the actual competitions were like fun and like on the day, getting ready. So yeah, that's all.
Can you remember the exact time that you decided, okay, this is a little more serious than I remember, so it's not all the fun and games that it started out to be, or where you decided? Because I know usually when you start that early, it's the parents who usually kind of put you in this activity. So at what stage did you decide, hey, this is something I like and something I'd like to do?
I think I was like 6. Yeah, and my coach told me to try out for the team, and they said it was good, so I got on the team.
All right, that's good stuff. Serena Walcott Lloyd, what about you? At what stage did you recognize this is something that you wanted to do?
Probably around when I was 8 or something. The same thing as Ciara, they asked me to try out for the team, and I got on.
Tell me about what it took for you to be able to get to the place of being a level 6 gymnast.
A lot of commitment and confidence in myself to do these skills and to get where I am right now. Sometimes there's a lot of hard work and go through stressful times at gym, but I guess all the hard work pays off.
Oyinda, what areas will you be competing in on Saturday?
All 4 events, the bars, the floor, and the vault.
What's your favorite event though?
Probably floor.
Probably floor? Why probably floor? You're better at floor? Or?
Well, it's my best event. I'm also able to have a lot of fun dancing to the music.
All right, that's good stuff. Sounds like you ladies are absolutely prepared. What about you, Ciara? Do you have a favorite event of the 4?
It's probably vault or floor because I scored the highest in them, so it's just fun to do it.
Good stuff. Serena, you?
Bars.
What are you looking forward to most competing at this level and having people come to Barbados? Obviously your friends, schoolmates, relatives will get to see you compete in this way. So for you, Oyinda, what are you looking forward to most come Saturday?
Well, I'm looking forward to trying to do or get better scores on all of my events, and hopefully to maintain my first place all around that I got from last year.
Excellent. That sounds great. What about you, Serena? What can we look forward to from you on Saturday?
I just gonna try my best to get better scores than last year and the competitions that we did earlier this year. So yeah.
And finally, Ciara?
The same thing. I'm looking forward to bettering my scores But I'm more excited because more of my family and my friends are gonna get to come and see me and see like what I'm doing, like spending all those hours at gym. So they're probably seeing like why I spend so much time at gym.
Do you think that will add to your nerves for the competition?
Yeah, probably. But I also think it will make me do better.
All right, what are you hoping for? I know that usually when we look at gymnastics, it's often one of those things that we see people outside of the island doing, as we heard in the last segment. And for you ladies to be able to move through the sport in this way means a great deal. Most certainly to be able to compete for Barbados in front of a home crowd will mean a lot as well. So I'm going to let you go because I mean the three of you are here looking like terrified. I cannot believe that you are going to get out in the middle and compete in gymnastics and you're a little nervous to sit and talk to me a little bit or not at all? No? Maybe?
A little bit.
Well, anyways, I enjoyed talking to you. So that's the Barbados Amateur Gymnastics Association. Extremely excited to host their annual gymnastics invitational. It's called the Trident Classic, and it comes up this Saturday. That's April 6th already. I'm still coming to grips with the fact that it's April already. It's over at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium, so you don't have to worry about parking or any of that other stuff. I mean, you know, it's a ready-made location, if you can call it that. It gets started at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I know the children will be off from school just a few more days before the holiday. So it's an event that you can come out and support, you know, whichever school or whichever gymnast you know of in their endeavors to represent Barbados. As we look at local clubs, Flip Gym and Flex Gymnastics competing against clubs from Trinidad, Jamaica, and Antigua. Approximately 135 gymnasts will be here competing in the women's artistic gymnastics, pre-competitive level, levels 1 through 8 as well as tumbling divisions A, B, C, and D. And for those of you who are aware of gymnastics, you know exactly what we are talking about. So it's going to be an action-packed day. Again, starting at 9 o'clock with 3 sessions, as well as an exhibition showcase from the Tumblebugs Gymnastics. I would imagine those are the little ones, as well as the Commonwealth and Pan American Elite Senior National Team Gymnast, whom you met just a moment ago, Erin Pinder. And there's going to be lots of entertainment. So we've been seeing lots of cheerleading squads coming out. The SMS Cougars are going to be there, as well as the college cheerleaders. They're going to be a part of it. Ticket prices, children under 3 are absolutely free. $15 for children 3 to 16, $25 for adults, and over 16, you pay just $25. So adults 16 plus, you pay $25, $50 for VIP. I think I got that right. But if I didn't, you know, you can find out what's happening online because that's where you can find them. The box offices are Agape Cafe, Worthing Square, Jeans Inc. Sheraton, Secret Sky Mall, and CS Pharmacy on Broad Street. So go out and get your tickets and support these young gymnasts. I'm going to give you girls an opportunity to tell your friends and schoolmates and everybody else why they should come out and support you this weekend, starting with you, Oyinda.
You guys should come out to support the upcoming gymnasts so that they could maybe be able to travel and compete worldwide for our country, Barbados.
Wonderful. What about you, Ciara?
To be honest, they should come because it's just fun to see like the different skills, and like since like Aaron's here, they'll see like more advanced skills, and it actually be fun to watch. And then also seeing like the little upcoming gymnasts, it's just like fun to watch, and maybe they will want to start it too.
Serena, why should people come out?
They would get to see something more different because gymnastics isn't really a popular sport in Barbados, so it's different. And they'll also get to see younger people come out and do the sport as well as watch performances and have fun.
All right, so best wishes to all of you. and I most certainly hope that you accomplish everything you set out to this weekend. All right, so another invitation to come out and be a part of the Trident Classic Invitational this weekend at the Wildey Gym. Grab your tickets, find out more, and support these young athletes. It's time for another break. When we come back, we have some more young people from the Blackman and Gollop Calypso competition that's also coming up this weekend. They're going to be in the house, so stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience. The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Tune in to CBC Newsnight for the NISS Business Report, a comprehensive look at the local, regional, and international business world every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during CBC Newsnight. Brought to you by the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
Every night, we bring you a complete look at the weather forecast because keeping you safe and informed is our top priority. The CBC Weather Report, brought to you by Ace H&B Hardware, the helpful hardware.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience. The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Tune in to CBC Newsnight for the NISS Business Report, a comprehensive look at the local, regional, and international business world every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during CBC Newsnight. Brought to you by the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
Every night, we bring you a complete look at the weather forecast because keeping you safe and informed is our top priority. The CBC Weather Report, brought to you by Ace H&B Hardware, the helpful hardware.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience. The facts say Mornin Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Tune in to CBC Newsnight for the NISS Business Report, a comprehensive look at the local, regional, and international business world every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during CBC Newsnight. Brought to you by the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
Every night, we bring you a complete look at the weather forecast because keeping you safe and informed is our top priority. The CBC Weather Report, brought to you by Ace H&B Hardware, the helpful hardware.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience. The facts say Mornin Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So yesterday we had two of the students who are part of the upcoming Blackman and Gollop Calypso competition that's coming up. And today we have two other competitors making their debut for you. So joining us is Ethan Mighty E. Waterman. Welcome, sir.
Morning.
And also here is Madison Burkett, and she goes by the stage name Maddie B. Welcome, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning. And of course, we have teacher Jamal O'Neill back with us. So today we're meeting two other contestants who are going to be a part of the singing competition coming up this weekend. How are preparations shaping up?
Preparations going very well. We're ready for Saturday, and they are really preparing themselves and putting themselves in the right mindset so that they can challenge one another, and they know each other's sounds, so they're actually motivating each other so they won't get stage fright and everything, but they're doing well.
Mighty E, did it take a lot of convincing for you to be a part of the competition, or were you open to competing from very early on?
I was open to competing.
Tell me about the song you'll be performing.
The name of the song is Good Morning, and it was made by Mr. Anthony Sargent.
What has it been like rehearsing for the competition?
It was sometimes challenging, but it was okay.
All right, sometimes challenging, but generally you have it covered.
Yes.
All right, good stuff. Now, what about you, Miss Madison? Talk to me about why you decided to be a part of the competition.
I love singing and dancing. It's just my passion. So when I heard that there's a calypso competition, I decided that I wanted to be in it to compete.
Do you like singing calypso, or are you singing calypso because of the competition, or do you like singing other genres of music as well?
I like singing other genres of music as well.
Tell me a little bit about the song you'll be performing.
The song I will be performing is about a teacher who taught at my school who has sadly passed away, Mr. Francis. The name of the song is a tribute to Mr. Francis.
Who wrote the song?
Mr. O'Neill.
Mr. O'Neill is doing a lot of work, so he's not the singing teacher, he's the writing teacher.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so writing teacher, Mr. O'Neill. Now for you, Mr. Mighty E. Waterman, I'm interested in finding out what your thoughts are on your song. What do you think your chances are in the competition? Because there are 10 contestants, yes? 10 people competing. So what do you think your chances are? You think you can come out on top? Number one?
I guess, yes.
You guess? Maybe in the top 3?
Yes.
All right, so are you going to perform a little bit of the song for us?
Yes.
All right, so we're ready. Whenever you're ready, take it away.
Good manners from conception. Good manners received by instruction. Good manners enforced during autopsy. Good manners runs in the family. Good manners make it mine, and we will extend it throughout the land.
So you tell me that's enough? That was good. All about good manners. Definitely a good message to share with people of your age and people of all ages. Now, Madison, let's hear your song.
Mr. Francis, with your smile so divine, in the schoolhouse, your laughter would shine. I don't want to sing too much.
That's it?
I don't want to sing too much. If you want to hear more.
If you want to hear more, you have to come out.
Yes.
On Saturday.
Yes.
How about that, Mr. O'Neill? She's already telling them, if you want more, I'm giving you a taste of what you can expect. What are some of the areas that you guys covered with the young Kaisonians and getting them ready for the competition this time around?
Okay, we have, they had a lot of interviews. They had with Hot 95.3, with Sluggy Dan. We also was on VOB 92.9 with Sluggy also again. And they also have a lot of rehearsals with Roger Giddens at BCC. Artist Sergeant also coaching them also too. So, and previous they had some formal training with Quan and Sparkle T also. So, you know, they have some sort of idea what to do, what not to do, when and where. So they're on the way and they're ready.
So Quan, the former junior Calypso monarch.
Correct.
Yes.
Also Sparkle T also too.
Because there's a Quan, the road march champ as well. What are you hoping, or where are you hoping to bring the children to in terms of, you know, their knowledge of performing arts and calypso music and so on through this competition?
Well, we know we have one junior model more than once. So I would like them to get at that level and then probably further. Like Quan, the calypso reading king, at that time, he also gave them a lot of inspiration, and he want them to do the same thing as well, even go further. So I want them to also be more outgoing, you know, more vocal, actually write their own songs now. So, you know, they will have a little twist of more things to go around when they're actually coming up.
All right, Madison, why should people come out to see you on Saturday?
Because I'm going to be amazing.
Because?
I'm going to be amazing.
She's going to be amazing. What about you, Ethan? Why should people come out to see you on Saturday?
I have the best song there.
All right, good stuff. I look forward to seeing all of you on stage. You're already winners. They're all wonderful songs with great messages. And I hope that this carries through to the Crop Over Festival 2024. We see some of you competing at the Junior Monarch level as well, okay? All right, thank you, Mr. O'Neill, for coming back today.
Thank you for having me
And
again.
showing your support for the children of the Blackburn and Gollop Primary School. The Calypso competition comes off this Saturday, 6 o'clock at the school. At April 6th, sorry, at 5:30 at the school. So make sure you're early so you can be a part of that. Head out and support the children and the school at the same time. It's time for another break. When we come back, we're going to tell you all about an upcoming event that we have been updating you on. This time around, we're going to tell you about the new panel that will be a part of the presentation. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Tune into CBC Newsnight for the NISS Business Report, a comprehensive look at the local, regional, and international business world every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during CBC Newsnight. Brought to you by the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
Every night, we bring you a complete look at the weather forecast because keeping you safe and informed is our top priority. The CBC Weather Report, brought to you by Ace H&B Hardware, the helpful hardware.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience. The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 4679 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
It's on you. That's why I ask, can you eat so much?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back to Morning Barbados. We've switched where we were, but we're still here. Just a few minutes to go in today's presentation. So we have to welcome back Reverend Buddy Larrier and a few familiar faces. Also here we have Nathaniel Palmer, who is a member of the team that Reverend Larrier has put together for a week of activities that will be coming up the last week of May as we look toward the season of emancipation. Also here is Barbara Watson, so welcome back.
Thank you.
And they've brought along Valerie Suzette Jean-Marie, who is an educator, a part of the team as well. So again, good to have you with us. So lay out for us, Reverend Larrier, coming up, you have something very special planned for Golden Square.
Yes, what we have, and this is because the team from England really want to show and educate Barbadians of the seriousness of mental health. Not that Barbadians are not already aware, but what they have been doing in England, and now they want Barbados and the Caribbean to really understand the fundamentals of this legacy that we have been suffering. So that will be, we are hoping to do that in Golden Square on Thursday, because they leave very early Friday morning. Yes, so that is what this event.
Okay,
which
so
we're hoping that the powers would allow us to use Golden Square,
All
because
right,
it was
so
suddenly asked of them.
It's a tight schedule.
That's right.
So Ms. Jean-Marie, talk to us about your role in the entire presentation.
The actual presentation in Golden Square, I'm going to be I'm going to be watching just like everybody else. I'm going to see it for the very first time. However, my role with the team as an educator is that we need to repair and restore education in Barbados. We need to have a look at how we approach education in Barbados from a perspective of mental health. My agenda, I already have a school in Oistins at Christchurch, and they've asked me to join them because my agenda and the work that I've done in the United Kingdom, in England, London, it complements their agenda. So yes, I will be working with Buddy Larrier and the rest of the team to look at how we can actually reform education, how we can actually take children that are preparing for the 11 plus, for example, and maybe accelerated learning with them, so that by the time that they are the age of 12, they're already ready for the rites of passage, which is what ultimately the reparation, restoration, restoring our roots.
All about, so it's about a holistic look at education, and I saw you nodding in agreement.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, we need to say thank you to the people of Barbados. Thank you to you, Tisha, for allowing us the opportunity to speak here and to actually share on our journeys. And I'll just be quick in saying that it's been surreal meeting amazing people of Barbados and going on various trips, meeting the Department of Reparations from Barbados, and we've got a few more trips to go by. But from that, we've been able to, from also the book that was produced by Elder Buddy Larrier, produce a summary of our findings around the history and the unique peculiarities of Barbados. And it actually gives us a summary of how we want to work together so that we can raise the mental health awareness and give what we can towards the reparations movement. And we wanted to present you with this letter as well as us being able to present this and actually share it with the people tomorrow at Golden Square, God willing, at 5 p.m. So wanted to hand you this
All right,
as well.
Well, thank you so much. I look forward to delving into the pages and finding out, what more can be done and what's being done. And finally, for you, Ms. Watson, what has the experience been like being here in Barbados? I heard you're jetting off on Friday.
Yes, it has been absolutely fantastic and encouraging. And also, I was a bit surprised to learn the work that is ongoing here with regards to mental health. you know, because, you know, we thought that we would come and introduce certain aspects of it, but it's already here. And for us as a team is to actually build on the partnership to move the issue of mental health forward. It's really been good.
There definitely is a lot of wonderful work going on.
Yes.
But you can never do too much work.
That's right.
And it's always great to hear that there are people from not only here in Barbados, but across the diaspora.
Absolutely.
Who want to share in our journey and help move us forward as a people.
Yes.
So thanks to you. And I look forward to reading what's happening. Golden Square tomorrow, 5 o'clock in the evening. I definitely will make sure that I check it out in one way or the other.
Yes.
All right. So coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados, we meet the final contestants of the Blackman and Gollop Primary School Calypso competition. The little ones are going to be in the house. Plus the National Youth Awards are here. We'll tell you more about that. So learn how you can be nominated or how you can nominate someone and send in your picks. Plus, speaking of picks, I give you my top 4 picks of the week, the things I love, and that's all coming up tomorrow on the Thursday edition of Morning Barbados. So on behalf of the entire team, do have yourselves a great day today. Stay tuned for Knapsack. The finals will be here on TV8, and be sure to come on back and join us tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.